Thank you so much for joining me for this short flow. It's going to be centered a little bit around balance and a little bit around strength. It helps to have blocks. I've put one at each end of the mat, and that can just help with the balance with a couple of poses we've got coming up. We're going to go ahead and get started seated. And we're going to start by opening up the outside hips. So if we take the left knee directly in front of us, with the left foot coming back in towards the right hip, we're going to take the right leg over the top. And if we can somewhat align the knees, they don't have to be perfect. Mine definitely don't sit directly over one another, but finding a place where we can just allow the feet to rest. And it's already going to feel quite intense through the hips, right? So as you inhale, we're going to see about lifting the chest and maybe just allowing shoulder blades to slide down the back. And sometimes tucking the chin just draws our last little bit of length all through the back of the neck. Breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. And our last little option here is going to be to take a deep inhale, sweeping the arms high. And as we exhale, we're going to see about folding forwards over the legs, tucking the chin when you get to that deepest point. Breathing in deeply. With the exhale, just allowing all the muscles through the outside of the hips to slowly start to soften and lengthen. And then with the next inhale, we're going to lift the head, drawing the hands back in. We're going to go for the spin transition. So if we take our hands down towards the floor, we're going to keep the feet where they are, but we're going to lift the hips. And from here, we're going to turn to the left. And if we come all the way down to the floor, we should end up back in our Gomukhasana, but with the right leg on the bottom this time. So if it hasn't quite worked out, you can just unwrap the legs and take that right knee on the bottom with the right knee pointing forwards and then the left leg over the top and the knees somewhat aligned. So just starting by allowing the feet to relax once more. Breathing in, lifting the chest, and we get to stay right here, right? If this already feels really intense, then maybe this is where we're going to stay for this one. The second option is going to be to lift the arms up overhead on a big inhale, and then as we exhale, folding forwards over the top leg, tucking the chin when you find yourself at the very deepest point of the pose, allowing everything to soften down. Taking a deep inhale, and as you exhale, just allowing all the muscles through the outside of the hips to slowly start to release. With the inhale, we're going to lift the head, walking the hands back in. From here, we're going to unravel the legs, and we're going to take them wide on the mat. So they don't have to be really wide, right? You want to find a place where you can sit comfortably. It's taking all the little shuffles that it takes. Breathing in, lifting the chest. From here, we're going to draw the left foot close. If we take the hands to the top of the mat, lifting the hips and turning into a variation of our runner's lunge here with the right foot back, the left foot in front. As we inhale, we're going to extend the left leg long, lifting the right foot off of the floor behind. And we've got that block at the front, right? So maybe we use that just to give us a little bit of lift. Breathing in deeply, exhaling fully, or maybe taking the palms to prayer, finding a variation of our warrior three. Sometimes taking the hands behind makes it feel a little bit more powerful, right? Or maybe you're someone who reaches the fingertips out in front. Wherever you find yourself, we're going to take one really deep inhale. As we exhale, we're all going to meet with the fingertips on the floor, but keeping the right foot lifted. From here, we've got the option to take the block under our left hand, and if we take it out to the very left side of the mat, the further left you take the block, the more stable this next one's going to feel. So as we inhale, we're going to turn the right toes to the right, and breathing in deeply, we're going to see about lifting the right hand high, and it's going to turn the chest out to the right, You gotta really squeeze the glutes to lift that right foot all the way up, maybe flexing the ankle to give you that little bit more reach through the right heel. One more. Really deep inhale here, rolling that right shoulder back. And with the next exhale, we're going to see about landing the right foot down, bending into the left knee, keeping the arms lifted, right? So as we squeeze the left glutes, drawing the left knee out, we should find our way into a variation of our warrior two, lifting the chest on the inhale and maybe taking the gaze over the left fingers. One last really deep inhale here, and then extending the left leg long, turning the left toes towards the long edge of the mat and the right toes point towards the back, bending into the right knee. We're going to reverse all the way back out through the other side. So first, finding our way into that variation of our warrior two by squeezing the glutes to stop that right knee from falling in towards the midline. Lifting the chest on the inhale, taking the gaze over the middle of the right fingers. And from here, we're going to head down into our warrior. We're going to head down into our half moon. So taking the right hand down, maybe towards a block. If we take it all the way out to the right edge of the mat, we're going to see about lifting the left foot up behind. We should make our way into something that kind of looks like a half moon, right? We can take all the little shuffles that it takes and maybe squeezing the left glutes, all the muscles through the hip to keep the left foot lifted high, reaching up through the left hand and rolling the left shoulder back with every inhale. We're going to stay for one more deep breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to keep the left foot lifted. But we're going to turn the chest back towards the floor. We're heading into that variation of our warrior three that felt the best. So maybe using the block for a little bit of lift, right? Maybe seeing if we can find the balance and taking the palms to prayer. And sometimes hands behind is what feels the best, or reaching out in front, seeing what works for you today, breathing in deeply. And then as we exhale, we're going to see about landing the fingertips down towards the floor, drawing a deep breath in through the nose, filling the belly. And as we exhale, we're going to land the left toes down behind, making our way down into our runner's lunge on the other side. If we turn to the left, we should just about be able to land the hips down along the floor and extending that right leg long, finding our way back down into our wide seat. So from here, we're going to roll the shoulders back, taking a deep inhale. If we reach the right hand long, maybe to take hold of the right toes, or maybe just resting the right hand down inside of the right leg, we're going to take a deep inhale, sweeping the left arm up and over, allowing the right ear to rest down towards the right shoulder, breathing in deeply. And with every inhale, we're going to feel that big opening all through the left side body. One more really deep inhale here. And then lifting all the way up through the center, sweeping the arms high. We're going to take the hands maybe towards the left toes, or just resting them down on the floor inside of the left leg. With a big inhale, we're going to sweep the right arm all the way up and over. If you take the gaze up towards the sky, that usually helps open across the chest. If we take one last deep breath here, lifting back up through the center, we're going to take the feet together and make our way down onto the back. So allowing the head to rest down and the shoulders to sink down. We've got one final variation of that first pose, so our Gomukhasana or our shoelace. And for this one, it's going to be reclined. We're going to cross the left leg over the right, breathing in deeply. We're going to lift the right foot, taking the hands maybe around the shins or the ankles, or maybe the feet, seeing what feels the most available. And as we exhale, we're going to draw everything in close. And sometimes taking a little rock from side to side just helps everything to relax into place. Or maybe taking a little roll of the ankles, stretching the toes. Filling the belly with the inhale, and with the exhale, drawing everything a little closer still. Allowing the head and the shoulders to rest back. And then from here, releasing anything we're holding on to, uncrossing the legs. We're going to take it over to the other side. So if we cross the right leg over the left, lifting the feet and taking hold of maybe the shins, maybe the ankles, or maybe the feet. But with a big exhale, we're going to draw everything close. And maybe seeing about taking that little movement around the ankles, a little wriggle of the toes, finding all the little clicks and pops. Taking a deep inhale, with the exhale, squeeze in the legs, drawing them a little closer into the chest. As we take one last deep breath here. With the exhale, we're going to release the legs, uncrossing them, and maybe finding a place where we can take the legs long and the hands down by the sides, closing down the eyes and finding a few moments rest.